Everyone dreams of living an uncommon life, and the best asset you have to achieve your dreams is you. Welcome to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. We're going to introduce you to people who are living uncommonly. We're also going to give you some tools and strategies for building wealth and for pursuing an uncommon path that is uniquely right for you.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Uncommon Wealth Podcast, where I'm your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
Coming back at you with the simple step, wiki wick. What are we going to talk about today, Aaron Kramer?
We're going to talk about seeing your hold. What is your risk assessment, and who do you have in your life other than your spouse to help you with your risk?
Good clarification. Yeah, I feel like we all have holes and we all have our own perceptions, which, newsflash, our perceptions are probably not always going to be reality.
No.
In fact, a lot of the times they're not going to be. So who is that person in your life to be able to pull you aside and be like, hey, this might not be how you foresee it happening, or this might be a hole that you don't see. I think it's important. And I want to just do a quick announcement. If you see me doing that, I don't care who you are, how well you know me, pull me aside, tell me, hey, I think you're off here.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to have that one specific person, and that's who you're talking about. So keep going, keep ripping on this. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah. So if we're talking about finances, everybody thinks that us financial advisors should do our own stuff. For some reason, I don't know, we're the only industry that seems to be like that.
It's true.
So anyways, when I came to this shows you how emotional money is. I'm pretty good with math, I feel like, and I can stick to mathematics for our money. But when it comes to emotions, I heard this. I was like, yeah, I need my own financial advisor, planner. Right. So what did I do? I hired my trusty old friend, Philip Ramsey, So I pay him to do my finances. I want to say this again, guys. I pay him to do my finances. Because there's times I am great with other people's money, but I cannot see my own holes. Yeah. I get super excited about something, or me and my wife are having a debate on something. And again, we are too close. We love each other too much, where it's a stop. Let's get a third party perspective.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
Yeah.
So I think the reason for the podcast is who it is in your life, said listener, that person that you can go to and be like, hey, I need to bounce some ideas off of you. I want to make sure I'm looking at this clearly, or making sure you can speak into some place where I think there might be a hole.
Yeah.
I think that's good. How would you suggest somebody going about that if they're like, I don't have anybody?
Oh man, I guess it kind of comes down to subject, right?
That's a good point.
So if it is money, then I would find a financial planner and somebody you mess with. If it's outside that, maybe it's a trusted friend that can be non-judgmental, or a therapist.
There you go.
It's kind of one of those things that I think it goes down to, but you have to have them in your life.
Yeah, that's true. For the times when it's going to get rocky.
Yeah.
And have it before it gets to that point.
Yes.
This is a true story. This was a long time ago, maybe 10 years. I'm taking a nap, and my wife comes home and she's like, hey, we got trouble in River City. And I was like, what's that mean? And what's that mean for me?
Yeah.
She was like, I have a good friend that's coming over. Her and her husband are in a heated mess, an argument. And they just want a sounding board to walk through this. And I was like, oh, baby, which I really respected them. That takes some guts, right? So they come over, and then they're just in the heat of this battle of walked it through. So it was kind of like what you're talking about. Who are those people? Obviously we had a relationship before then. It wasn't like, hey, I don't know Philip and Aaron at all. We're coming over and we're going to just drop this bomb on them.
Yeah.
But it was, hey, we've had a relationship with Philip and Aaron, and we really respect them. So we need to kind of walk through this because we're just having trouble with this area.
Yeah.
And how many times do we have that personally? Where we have maybe an awesome idea, but then we wanted to try to bounce this idea off of somebody before we get our spouse involved.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes.
Good perspective. So, man, that's kind of our challenge to you. And the simple step is to, first understand who is that, identify that person, and then 2, maybe reach out and say, hey, thanks for being that for me.
Yeah.
And I might be calling you like I always have, but I just wanted to give you some edification. You're that person for me. Thanks for being there. I think it's a really good, simple step.
Yeah. I find it's very rewarding to have somebody in your corner, but also to call you out on your holes, because you can't see your own holes. So
you sure can.
Yeah.
It's good. All right. Well, you've been listening to the Uncommon Wealth Podcast. I've been your host, Philip Ramsey.
And I'm Aaron Kramer.
Until next time, go be uncommon.
That's all for this episode, brought to you by Uncommon Wealth Partners. Be sure to visit uncommonwealth.com to learn more about our services. Don't miss an episode as we introduce you to inspiring people who are actively pursuing an uncommon life.